Welcome back. Welcome back. It's the Three Parallels podcast with your favorite host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we discover who you were, who you are, and who you are becoming. In today's show, I'm telling y'all, this is an up and coming counselor, and I'm just going to speak it into existence. Counselor educator. She will be Dr. Schroeder. I'm sure it's going to happen. This is one of my former students who was connected. We connected in many different ways at conferences, at on campus in the classroom, and she is a pioneer. She is a firecracker. She is a emotionally intelligent ball of love and life. I just want y'all to get a glimpse, just an hour glimpse of what I've had the privilege to experience within this past year. I'm a fan of all of my students because all of my students are colleagues, will be colleagues, former, current, and everything else in between. And this particular student is connected to me in so many different ways. And part of that is we just have a kinetic energy. We have a kinetic energy and attraction of I just want to help. I just want to serve. I just want to be better. I just want to do better, get better, and help all those around me. So it was an instant connection. And now I have the privilege of having the one, the only, Grace Schroeder on the show. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I have to like clear the tears out of my eyes after that introduction. That is so sweet. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you for
it's
having
real.
me.
Absolutely, it's real. And one thing that I know I can give you this because I got to give my guests their flowers. I believe in that. And as Gators, as you know, baby Gators and beyond, we know how to accept our flowers. So thank you for accepting what I have to offer.
Thank you for providing me with the flowers. Jeez. It means
Listen,
a lot, and I'm glad to be here.
good, good. A lot of times we don't know. That's why it's important that we talk about it. I've always viewed you as a stellar student. You just always have this energy and zest for life. I've never seen you in a place of down or bitter or sad. It's just like, no, I'm pushing through. We got stuff to do. Like, let's go. You've always had that energy and it's contagious. So the people around you are starting to pick up on your energy and they be feeling down. They're around you. Nah, we can't do that. Grace ain't down. We got to get up. So that's just the light that you shine. And I think it's important for everybody to know. So thank you for being you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And honestly, it's when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And I
Ooh,
love every day that I come across and every person and every experience. So, don't work a day in my life. How can you not be smiling?
I love it. I love it. Listen, y'all hear it first. Now she's still in the master's program. She ain't even done yet. I just need y'all to see that energy is happening contagiously. Now, here's the other piece before we dive in, because I don't know where we finna go today, but I feel an energy. We finna go somewhere. So to the listeners, please bring out your Gator Scales journal. Because she's gonna be dropping gems, hitting you in the head with a honey bun. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. So let's dive in. Where do we start? And in that starting place, I'm curious, and the listeners are curious, what made you decide, I want to get in this profession? I want to be a counselor. I want to do these things. I want to help these people. How did this start for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess if I had to pick a starting place for my story, and well, the universe is one hell of an author, that's for sure. But I would say that it would start out with attending religious school. I attended a religious school, and I'm a queer woman, and I attended this religious school for about 11 years of my life. So I have this foundation of like religion in positive and negative ways. So I feel like that experience provides a lot of perspectives for me in a lot of amazing ways. And after that, I went to an arts high school. So you could only imagine that transition from from the religious school to the arts high school. And I guess this is where my professional journey began because while I was a high school student, I was part of an Instagram account, a social media account, and it was a queer community account. We did advice, memes, just sharing joy, sharing sad stuff as well. And it had about, I'd say, like 40,000 followers at its peak.
Wow.
So we had a big community, and I had a lot of people message me and my colleagues that also helped with the account, just saying, have no idea where to go in life. Like, my mom doesn't accept me for who I am. am I valid? Do I deserve a seat at the table? And of course, that answer was always yes. And seeing that pain on a global social media scale, honestly, the rest is history. And those followers are still with me today, just, living in my heart and my mind.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge. I love it. I told y'all, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. So this is so great. And I'm curious, like, just because anybody could have been on this page or building this community, but you didn't stop there. You saw the community, you saw the need, and you decided, I'm the person that can do something. I'm the person that can help somebody. So let me decide this. So I'm curious to know, from going to a religious background to a more creative space and managing both, and then dealing with marginalized communities, and now deciding this is what I want to do. I'm curious about that transition, and how did you find you and your voice in it?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that with the transition, I suppose, I don't know. That's a really good question. I just really think that the answer has been clear for me from that moment, and that moment was about 10 years ago or so. And when you see pain like that, how could you not want to do something? I guess
Mm.
is my question. Like, even if I can't save the world, I'm no Superman, right? But I think that the pursuit of that, even just trying your best to be Superman for yourself and hoping that that affects other people, that's the most that I can do. And I think growing into myself has been finding confidence in, yeah, like my story is worth publishing, right?
Wow.
And
Mhm.
my story is one that I believe in. So I
Mm.
guess I would say that.
I love it. I love it. So I'm curious, because a lot of salamanders struggle with confidence. A lot of salamanders struggle with confidence. So how did you, as a salamander slash baby gator, how have you been able to build that confidence and trust within yourself? Because there's so many unknowns within the profession. How did you do that, especially as a student?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I would say that this confidence really came to fruition, oh my gosh, like just a couple of years ago. And I owe it to the community that surrounds me with love. I feel like I'm consistently divinely protected by these different mentors, friends, family members who are like a mirror to myself, like holding up a mirror and saying, "This is who you are. Now start acting like it," right? And I
Mm.
think you definitely played a role in that as well. You know, you had once told me, "You're sitting in this chair, start acting like you deserve to be sitting in that chair." And
You
that
damn
really
right.
changed it.
You damn right.
Exactly,
I
right?
love it. I love it. And what's wild is, like, you never know, as a professor, you never know what hits and what doesn't. You just share what comes up, and you never know what impacts people in what way. So I love hearing that, because this is a full circle moment of you developing this confidence, of you growing into this space of, I do deserve to be here, I do belong here, I am here. So that
Mhm.
imposter syndrome slowly comes down when you begin to acknowledge who you are, where you are, and who you are not, which it sounds like you figuring that out in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of the gator mindset too is knowing that this idea of who you're becoming is a lifelong pursuit.
Ooh.
And even I could be on my deathbed and I could be seeing the Lord like the next day, right? And there would still be more to do in terms of
Wow.
me, right?
Wow. Wow. That's huge. That's huge. So I want to talk about religion, because we can talk about it. And that was
Mm,
the background before the transition. How are you able to manage these two worlds? And I want to be specific with these worlds. So you got religion, which is a world within itself, and then you got the help and profession, which is a world within itself. And
mm.
you being in the middle of both, like, you've been going in and out in different ways. How have you been able to merge the two, and what does that look like moving forward for you in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can definitely be honest and say that my religious experience informs me in both positive and negative ways, which I did mention, but I think that my specific religious experience, it was very black and white thinking, right? There's
Ooh.
one way to live, and
Mhm.
that is doing X, doing Y, doing Z. And of course, part of that conversation was me being a queer woman. I was not the right way to live under God. So I think that with religion, like, it doesn't have to be that way though, because
Yeah.
like, you know, as much as I've been scorned by it, there's a lot of really amazing messages about helping others, right?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the tax collector or the woman that gave just 1 penny in terms of her tithe, right? Like there's so many stories of joy and hope in religion, and I always try to see the duality. So it's kind of ironic that within this black and white thinking that was installed with me when I was young
Uh-huh.
came this wild grayscale, right? Of there's different ways to live and not everything has to be good, bad, you know, it's everything in between.
Wow. Wow. That's huge. That's really huge. And I want to spend a little time here. We don't have to spend a lot. But
Mhm.
the time I want to spend here is related to transition, transformation, who you were. So you remember when you were in that space of it is black and white. And then you transition out of that space of, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be black and white. And I feel as
Yeah.
though for some people, especially for a lot of the listeners, they may still be in that space of this is how it has to be. And you've been able to overcome that to see, yes, it can be black, white, it could be gray, different shades of gray, 50 shades of gray. It could be all types of different things in real time. And to me, that's awareness. That's awareness because for many of us, we haven't we haven't been given permission to be self-aware. So I'm also curious of your growth from 11 years in one environment and then a different environment and finding your way, because you sound, because I really love, there's healthy positive sides and negative sides, you understand both, and both of them has played a role in how you think, how you live, how you work, and what you do. Some people can't do that, and it's a really big deal that I don't take lightly. How have you been able to merge all of these different worlds and still come out on top based off of what works best for you? How the hell did you do that?
Hey, listen, if I had the full answer, like honestly, I would be writing it down and publishing in a book, but I don't think that we're meant to have all of the answers, and I think that the best like honey bun I can throw in
Okay,
there
let's get
is
it.
I would just say give yourself permission to be human.
Mm,
That's something that helped with me, and when it came to that transition of old self to new self to who I'm becoming, I think that the outgrowing your old shell can be, a very positive and negative experience in many ways. But for me, my old self walks with me every day, right alongside me, not as a haunting thing, not as a
okay,
ghastly thing, but
okay.
a reminder of how things were when I grew into my shell. And so I think giving yourself permission to be human allows that duality. And once you start giving yourself permission to be human, like I don't have to be perfect all the time, then you can start accepting the fact that the gray area exists and is something that can help inform your current self and the person that you're becoming. So that's why I think, you're going to make mistakes as you grow, and I don't have all the answers and I'm still making mistakes. Oh gosh, I make mistakes every day, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but I think that when you allow your old self to walk with you, you're honoring them as someone who did the best that they could with what they have. And a lot
yeah,
of people right now are doing the best they can with what they have, and
yeah,
that's worth
yeah.
honoring. So,
I love
yeah.
it. I love it. Oh, this is good. This is good. So I want to transition a bit because I have to share with the listeners. This is an honest podcast. We're authentic as all get out. And I want to share with the listeners how authentic, how real, how raw this experience is. So for all of you listening, Grace right now is in her own studio, right? And this studio is very unique. It's high tech. The soundproofing is bar none, bar none. So if
Seriously.
you could, because this connects to boundaries, balance, figuring out what works for you, and how you're living, and even being on this podcast at this moment in real time, you're demonstrating exactly what you're talking about. So if you could share with the listeners your studio in this boundaries and balance where you're figuring out what works for you and what doesn't.
Yes. So for those who can see, I'm in my bathroom. For those who are listening, I'm currently sitting on the floor of my bathroom, and there is a towel hanging behind me, setting the most fabulous backdrop, right? And I think that this is a great example of doing the best that you can with what you have.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's because being on this podcast, like, it meant a lot to me. I knew that I wanted to put my best foot forward, even if it meant sitting on the cold tile, so that way I could get a quiet room and make sure that I could be the best version of myself, authentically and audio wise. So the
I love
duality.
it. I love it. This is as real as it gets, you all. And for those graduate students, doc students, master students who are in the same space where you may be at home, it may be a house full of people, you may not have your own space. Just curious, Grace, how have you been able to manage balancing, multiple roles and wearing so many different hats, being a student, being a friend, being family? Like, you do a lot. How do you do it and keep yourself sane and keep a smile on your face? How is this possible?
Well, I think gratitude is, I guess I would say, my biggest secret. Um, Being thankful for even having the opportunity to sit on this floor right now with a roof over my head, right? But also to
Yeah.
have the opportunity to be invited onto this podcast and to speak to, God knows how many listeners in hopes of sharing me and sharing who I am. Like, how could I not be just full of joy for that opportunity, right? And I think that when you live your life with a lens of joy, you find there's so much more to be thankful for than to be regretful for.
Wow. Wow. You heard it here first. Gratitude. Gratitude. On the floor in the bathroom, cold as all get out. Tap behind our head. Audio is stellar quality right now. this
Good.
is as this is as real as it gets. And that's what I love about the podcast, because everyone, all the listeners, you're doing the best you can with what you have, and your lived experiences speak to who you are. So I want to be honest. I want to be authentic and transparent, because it's not this idea of who we have to be. It's the reality of who we actually are, and you live that. You are a living example of this as a graduate student. And I hope for all the listeners, especially graduate students, you're seeing that in real life, in real time, you can have this. You can adopt this, because it's a mentality, it's a perspective based off of who Grace is and who she's becoming. She already let you know, old version, dead. There's a ghost around, but it's not haunting me, but I know it's there. Three parallels all day long, all day long. So let's switch gears a bit. I want to share, because this is really important to me and to the listener. So Grace was in one of my classes, and Grace had a crew of students. There was just this crew. It was this energy. And the first day of class, I walk in, and everybody lit up, and I'm like, "What is this about?" And I asked, like, what's the scoop? What's going on? And I feel that, Grace, you were the ringleader, and just that love of, oh my God, Dr. Branch is here. We finna have a good time. But I learned from this crew that you all were connected, and I learned later that y'all were connected because of leadership with CSI. I got basically the executive board I had in my classroom at
Yeah.
one time. So, I don't believe in coincidences, and I'm just curious on, your perspective, being this board member, being this administrator with this honor society for our profession, and this whole your whole executive board in one class, and y'all together. Like, how did this happen? How did this come about? And how can you help other students with creating these communities that serve you? It's just not one, you have several, but they all are used in different ways to enhance you and your life. So if you could share with us, how did this happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, when I think back to the very start of even the idea of taking CSI and wanting to be in a leadership position, I have to give credits to Jesse fam, if you're listening. Huge shout out to you. For those who don't know him, he is a friend and a colleague of mine that I met through the program, and he is like the yin to my yang for sure. Like, I'm very energetic and he very much grounds me, but we both have like the same sense of humor, same interests. He's an excellent person to work with, and he's incredibly brilliant. And so honestly, he once came up to me and said, hey, like, CSI is like a, for those who don't know, it stands for Chi Sigma Iota, Counseling Honor Society, and it wasn't really active on our campus when we were first years. So he said, hey, why don't we try and run for a position and see what we can do about it? And honestly, that's exactly where what happened. Right now, I'm currently serving as the president of CSI. Jesse is my secretary, and then a bunch of our friends decided to hop onto that passion as well, and said, you know what, like, why don't we try and make something that enhances the experience of counseling students, especially
Mm,
grad students, because we're very like we worked really hard, and sometimes it's hard to just catch a break and have fun. And so I think that we have a unique opportunity to promote excellence while giving folks opportunity to network, have fun, eat free food at our club, right? Stuff like that. So right, gotta listen, we have to talk about all the positives here. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and so I think that like these connections that we made are beyond even just professional, like they're very like friendship connections that like we all like connect with each other on a very special level,
Mm,
and we just really get each other in a way that I haven't really been understood before. And I think that being surrounded by people like that has helped me grow into myself, and we all have grown into ourselves as well. And so we become friends. And then when it came to registering for classes, um, Christine and I, another shout out to Christine, we had previously taken a class with you. And so when I was talking about this class, we were thinking, well, why don't we just try and encourage a bunch of our friends to do it, because we know what you can offer for us. And we
mm,
grew a lot in your class. So when it was coming to this class and registering for it, yeah, that basically we
yeah.
got everyone to hop on the boat, and
Wow.
everyone had a great time during that class.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So, more often than not, what your trajectory I've never heard of. I've never seen it before, especially with CSI, because typically graduate students join CSI and then become friends with their leadership team or executive board. You all were friends first and then decided, hey, let's do CSI. Not just do it, let's take it over. Like y'all did,
Yes.
y'all did that. So I'm curious for a lot of the listeners who are considering, I want to get involved, but I don't really know. And I keep hearing about CSI and I don't know what to do. If you could share, like, what is it about CSI or leadership organizations as a whole and the purpose? Like, why would a student want to do that? What make it beneficial? Not that you got to recruit or anything, but your lived experience is so important because a lot of students don't know the value that these organizations bring, and your story alone speaks about the value. So if you could share with the listeners, that value aspect of getting involved and getting active, and what are some of those benefits?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that even just starting with the lens of gratitude and thinking, wow, like this is an opportunity that I have the opportunity to even, reach for. And when you believe in yourself, or even just go in with the mindset of, I'm just going to toss my hat in the ring, you miss all the shots that you don't take. But when you do take those shots, like you won't even believe these amazing opportunities that will just invite themselves into your life, just one after one after one. So I think that CSI is a fantastic opportunity for those who are interested in leadership positions. Like it's fantastic to work with people who are like-minded and very kind. Like our board is very kind and friendly, so you're making friends, you're networking, you're getting CV or resume experience as well. And then you're also able to network at our events. And CSI International offers scholarship opportunities. They offer conferences, virtual, in person. So there's an international benefit as well as a local benefit by finding community in grad school, which sometimes can be very difficult.
I love it. I love it. Tell me a little bit more about that difficulty of finding your community and connecting.
Yeah. I think that if you're not careful, sometimes grad school can feel like somewhere you just clock in and clock out, especially depending on your campus. I know some schools are different than others, and with cohorts depending on size. For those who are listening, our cohort is 60 people, so it's much larger than like your stereotypical counseling graduate cohort. And so when there's a lot of people, there's a lot of opportunity to make new friends, but also it can feel intimidating. You have a lot of people that come from a billion different walks of life and all come from different angles and perspectives and backgrounds. But I think when you embrace that, that can be the key to opening yourself up to making these connections and reminding yourself that this like diversity of like background, educational, things of that nature can do nothing but add value into your life when you
Yeah.
learn from the people that are around you. So I have to admit, like, it is a scary process, especially if you're introverted. But embracing it is, I guess, the biggest key I can say. But I don't know if my key is very valid because I'm an extrovert, so it's it's different for me.
It's valid. It's valid. So the listeners that are extroverts, it hits. For those introverts, hey, y'all got to catch up. So that's how
I'm
this
sorry,
works.
introverts.
No apologies needed. That's on them. So so now here's another piece. And this is why this show is so important and so powerful. So Grace is sharing about CSI, which is a chapter level. It's an international organization all across the country, and she's involved, but it's more housed on campus. Grace was in my class during NBCC. They had the symposium. So the symposium, I was actually serving as a keynote. And, me thinking, just keep it to myself, keynote, whatever. Students start finding out I was serving as a keynote. And it was just this moment of, oh my God, my professor is about to be the keynote at this conference. And you were there and you're involved. So if you could share, how did you get involved with that? Because I'm a fan of NBCC and it's a really big deal. How did you go from, okay, CSI, I did this, I'm doing it, it's great. However, I want to go further, and you did it, and you're doing great on a higher level. How the hell you doing all of this, Grace?
So, you know how I said when you seek opportunity, opportunities will come in droves, and I think that this is part of it. So the symposium in March that I saw you at was I was there for presenting research with the lovely Dr. Ana Reyes. Another shout out. See, I'm gonna shout everybody out like
Shout
Oprah,
them out.
but
Shout them
yeah.
out. It's cool because a lot of these shout. This is what I love. You are picking up this show all day. So the shout outs are opportunities because I look at the shout out as we're throwing a pebble in the pond and there's going to be a ripple. Because every shout out that I've heard so far on this show, the person that was shout out ended up being a guest. So just know these are going to be more guests on this show because you shouted them out. Little sidebar.
I love it. And I would pay $1 million subscription to listen to Dr. Ana Reyes speak on a podcast. They are incredibly insightful and compassionate and just embody social justice in every front. So I could go forever and ever speaking positively about them. And working under their mentorship, we were able to present research at NBCCF symposium, and it was just an incredible experience. I love everything that NBCC stands for, and I love the people that I was able to meet, the conversations we were able to have, bringing up these hard conversations that you won't see at just any conference. That is what I love. I love the bravery. I love the honesty. And I love the growth that NBCC can provide to me, especially as a white woman. That's important for me to remain open and to keep seeking knowledge and listening. And so, even so, I this is a little bit vulnerable because I haven't received it yet, but I'm applying for the fellowship this upcoming cohort because how much I love this experience. And I just want to learn more. So it's like when you have a little hors d'oeuvre and you take a bite and you're like, "Ooh, that's good. I want more." Right? Bring me 12 more of them. So
Okay.
that's how I'm feeling. And this is another one of those things. If I don't get in, at least I can say I tried, right? And I had a
Absolutely.
fun time doing it. So, and when the opportunity presents itself, why not at least try? And I feel confident.
Wow. Wow. Well, we're going to speak into existence. It's already done. I hope you're celebrating
Yes.
in advance. Gator celebrate before, during, and after. So we're going to speak it. We're going to claim it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, period. We're not worried about time. It's going to happen because you are putting yourself in a position to win. Also, for the listeners, I hope y'all paying attention. I hope y'all are seeing the three parallels: who Grace was, who she is, who she's becoming. And I hope you're able to kind of pick up some of these nuggets and apply them to yourself. Grace shared the previous mentality, very black and white. It's one way or the other. The new mentality, I hope y'all hearing it, is I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do the best I can what I have. And either I'm going to win or I'm going to learn. Do y'all hear this? I know it's not me. I know it's just not me. So this is
Yeah.
this is powerful. This is so powerful, and I love how these stories and these experiences can impact and influence so many different people who just listening. And to me, I don't believe in coincidences. It's not a coincidence that you're listening to this show right now. It's not a coincidence that you're on this show. It's not a coincidence of what comes up from being here and being on the show. So this is phenomenal. I'm enjoying every minute of it. So the next piece, I want to move into some rapid questions. Now, these don't have to be rapid as fast, but I want to hear your perspective on all of it. So through this experience from where you were for 11 years and then transition to creative space and art and now in the master's program, I'm curious, and now, you know, serving as a working in field placement, internship, practicum, what have you learned about people through all these lived experiences?
Oh my gosh. That is an incredibly good question because I feel like there is always more to learn, and everybody is so different but so similar at the same time, all being humans and sharing the human condition. I think that people are incredibly resilient, and that's really what I've learned about other people, especially in the most traumatic of circumstances, how much resilience will shine through regardless, and how much that individuals can grow when they're just given understanding. If you just provide somebody just a listening ear, how much you can just see them shoot for the stars. And the power of empathy is magical. It really is. And I think that part of me knew it, but being in this profession helps you embody it. And that's really what I've learned, I'd say.
Love it. Love it. So, same question. Now it's about you. What have you learned about yourself through these years?
Oh man. I mean, to kind of speak on what I had said earlier, I would say that I've grown to understand that learning, or that there's no right way to live. That whole concept of living in the gray is not just something that is to be understood, but it's to be celebrated, I would say. It really is to be celebrated. And I think that with that black and white mindset, it can be very like, um how you say, like, kind of confining, but
Mm,
well, how liberating it is to know that as long as you're doing what's right for you, it's right. And I love that.
mm.
It's deserves to be celebrated.
I love it. Gator talk. This is
Yeah.
Gator talk, y'all. All right. So, what would you say is your most proudest moment or accomplishment in your life?
Yeah, so when I think about the most proudest moment, or my biggest accomplishment, I think about high school, which I'm not saying I peaked in high school, but um, I'm thinking about when I was a senior in high school. So for context, I went to the lovely Orange County School of the Arts, and I had a fantastic time there. This was the art school I was mentioning, and I studied acting there. And while I was studying acting, I was really getting into directing as well. So
Wow.
I come from a theater background, I come from an acting background, and directing really struck me, because I don't know, I loved being able to have a story and then watching it come to life. And for me, being in at the school, I was being able to watch my friends bring it to life, and that was so very much me in every way. But in my senior year, I directed a play. This play is called Wilderness, and it is about like wilderness camps, like troubled teen industry, things of that nature. And the feedback I got from the audience was just like, just people were like, "This is brilliant! Like, this is fantastic! Like, this spoke to me. This taught me a lot." And I think just knowing that storytelling can impact
Mm.
people on so many different ways, like, what a gift it is that we're able to share stories with each other and to do it in different ways. And that was my favorite story I've ever told.
Wow. Ooh, this is so good. This is so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So, here's one. Here's one. I'm curious to know about a hero. Who was or is your hero?
That's an amazing question, and I think it is best shown visibly, if you can
Mm.
see this. For those of you who are just listening and not watching, I have a tattoo on my wrist, and it is my grandfather's signature. And my grandpa passed away a couple years ago, and it was not in the best of circumstances. We were really hoping that he could have made it longer, but he lives forever in my heart, in my mind, and with my family. He was just this beacon of advocacy. He worked in law, and specifically dependency law, and he essentially would advocate for those of so it sounds like he would be like advocating for those because that were like abusing their kids, I would say. But sometimes you don't understand what these people are going through and through the system. Like, people
Mm,
are not being given the resources that they need in order to turn their lives around. And he was that person to put these individuals on the stand who were responsible for letting others down, and saying, why didn't you do better to try and unite this family again? And
mm,
his fervence for advocacy is something that inspires me every day. Even and any walk of life that you come through, like approaching it with empathy. You're going through a lot, and a lot of people aren't on your side, but let me be on your side. That's something
mm.
that inspires me every day. And I love him dearly. I miss him dearly, and I dedicate everything I do to him. So, Grandpa, I love you.
Big shout out. Big shout out. I love it. I
Exactly.
love it.
Yes,
I
he's
love it. Incredible
awesome.
story. Incredible story.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. My condolences to you, your family, and it's what's amazing. This is legacy. He still
Yeah,
lives, and now you're continuing what he started. You're continually doing what he did. That's legacy. And imagine the people that's going to do this after you or because of you. This is huge. This is huge.
I can only hope so. What a
Expect
joy.
it. Expect
Yeah.
it. You got this. All right.
True,
So
true.
I'm curious, what's a word, phrase, memory, or moment that has stuck with you personally or professionally?
That's a good one. So besides, I would say, like, the whole give yourself permission to be human, a lot of my favorite nuggets of wisdom come from my mom. Another shout out
Mm.
to mom. She gave me a lot of, honestly, I think that she could be a life coach. She has a lot of these nuggets of wisdom that have helped me help other people, and it's been really a pleasure to hear that. But she would always tell me that your best is always enough for me. And
Mm.
that I feel really blessed that my mom approached me with that mindset, because I know people and their parents, like, it's not always that lucky. But my mom was very big on, Gracie, you're being hard on yourself, but I promise you what you're doing is enough for anybody. As long, it may not be enough for yourself, but it's enough for me. And I want you to know that, like, even if in your head you're not reaching these expectations that you set, like, everyone around you can see you and knows that you're doing well, even if you don't believe it. So even if you don't believe it yourself, let me believe it for you. And
Wow.
I really appreciated being raised in with that mindset, and I definitely try and carry that for other people. Your best is always enough, and trying to demonstrate to them that you're doing the best with what you have. That's important and worth honoring.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So just know mom might end up being on the podcast because you
Yeah.
shouted her out.
She will have some honey buns to throw, that's for sure.
Listen, we're gonna make it happen. I'm with it. I'm with it. You talking to the right one. We're gonna make it happen. I just want to share knowledge. I want to share wisdom. I want to share love. And that's what we're getting. So I'm sure the apple doesn't fall far. So shout out to
Aw.
Mom Dukes. Good stuff.
For
Next
real, shout out
question.
mom.
Yes, indeed. Next question. So this is a big one because this is the show. This is the show. If you could
Mhm.
describe in one word, three different versions. So one word for each: who you were, who you are, who you're becoming. What would you describe those three versions of yourself using one word?
Oh man, using one word. Oh man.
For each, one word for each. So who I
Okay,
was
okay.
is this. Who I am is this. Who I'm becoming is this.
Mhm. I would say who I was, a shadow. I know that's 2 words, but I would say a
Oh,
shadow.
hold on, I'm sorry. I give rules, but they're big. They're wide. They're wide. So listen, do whatever. Do you know how this works? It's our house.
Okay, true. So a shadow, and then my current self is confident,
Mm.
and who I'm becoming, amazing.
Ooh. Ooh. I hope y'all writing this down. Y'all know y'all can borrow. Y'all can cheat. What Grace says, okay? You cheat, write it down.
Absolutely.
These are the things I'm becoming. Because if not, whatever who you were, who you are, who you're becoming, if you're not okay with it, if you don't like it, you can change it at any point in time. So for the listeners, because I like to connect, and you've connected so much in sharing your truth and your personal story with the listeners. What about an interesting fact? What's something that most people, a lot of people don't know? I didn't know you were a director and you were in the arts, which I think is phenomenal. It just speaks volumes to your energy. What is another interesting fact that people just don't know about Grace?
Yeah, I think the best fact I like to share about people is that I am an ordained minister. And so if you need me to officiate your wedding, I know a girl and her name is me.
I love it. Listen, this is what I love about graduate students. This is what I love about helping professionals. We all are from different walks of life. We have different careers. Some people on their second, third, fourth career. Some people retired and come back. Everybody has a story, and it's so unique how all of our stories, no matter what it is, we end up in the same space, same place
Mhm.
and time. From a professor to a student to someone trying to get into a program, everybody has a very unique story, and I love hearing people's story. And now we have a place where we can share people's stories. So thank you for sharing that. And for those looking for a minister, you got one right here, right here.
Exactly.
So
I got you. Let me know.
done and done. Listen, you might start drumming up business from this. Don't. It's a lot of listeners that's trying to get married, trying to get things done. I'm telling you, do not be surprised. All right. So, last question. This is a life work. So, as you all know, listeners, this podcast does not offer homework, because homework, you take it home, you do it, you forget about it. You turn it in, you'll never remember it again. Life work, when you take it home and you do it, your life changes. So, Grace, if you could offer some life work to the listeners, what would you offer? A keepsake or something for them to help them keep moving and going in the direction that they're going. What would you have to share?
Absolutely. So, I would invite you all to pull out a piece of paper
Oh yeah, let's work.
and
Hold on, time
yes.
out. Y'all need time. Pause. I need you to pause the show. List. Pause. Right. Grace finna hit y'all in the head with a honey bun. Okay. Push pause. Get pen and paper. We're not playing. Okay. Get a pen and paper. Get your Gator Scales journal and write down what's about to happen. What you got?
Yes. So, take out a piece of paper, and you know how you were in elementary school and you were trying to go on a field trip? You would write down your name at the top, write out where you're going. So, somewhere you want to go in life, a goal, something of that nature. And then at the very end, write permission and then sign it. You are
Wow.
giving yourself permission to be human and you're writing a goal. That's where you're going on your field trip. Sign
Oh,
it, turn it in. You have permission. So always
that's
remember
good.
that.
That's good. That's powerful. I've never heard that, so I'm going to use it for myself. So, listeners, I told y'all, get it out. So, this is an opportunity, because once you write it down, it makes it plain. It becomes a contract that you signed between you and the better version of you. Whoo, Grace, you dropping
Yes.
gems. You dropping gems. So, that's about our time. I greatly appreciate you for being here. Anything you want to share, anything else you want to give to the listeners, shout outs, anything. This is your time, your space to give it. Also, what if people want to get in touch with you? What if people want to reach out? Hey, I need a ordained minister ASAP. I need a therapist. I need this. I need that. How can people get in contact with you?
I love it. I guess just reminding yourself that you're human and nailing in the fact that you should give yourself permission. Oh my gosh, you see that light right now?
Yes, indeed. This is
For
real.
those
This
of
is
you
real.
who,
This is as real
yes,
as the show get. We got paranormal activity happening in real time. Oh my God, this is great. I'm loving all
let me
of it.
just turn this off and on again.
Does this happen often, or this is happening in real time for us?
First time, and maybe this is a sign, right?
Ah, I love it. I love it. Listen, so
Right?
real quick for the listeners, for those who can't see, Grace in our studio, bathroom studio, shower studio, however you want to call it, the lights are flickering on and off in real time. We don't know why. It's paranormal, but something is happening in real time. This is amazing, and I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
seriously. Should I turn my camera off? I don't want to give the viewers a headache. Or is it probably fine?
Let's ride. Let it ride. They can turn their camera
Okay.
off. Turn your video off. You
Okay.
can't handle it.
Sounds good. Okay. I'm sorry. Could you remind me of the question
So
one
yeah,
more time?
it's
This
okay.
was
It's okay. This I don't know what this is. It's an energy. It's something
divine
happening in real time. We
sign.
cannot make this up. So if people want to get in contact with Grace, if people want to reach out to you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so last name, first name at yahoo.com. So SCHROEDERGRACE at yahoo.com. Feel free to shoot me a message and let me know what you thought, or if you have any
Okay,
questions.
if you could repeat it one more time. The paranormal activity had it a little choppy, so I want to make sure everybody gets your information. One more time, if you could share.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my camera, so hopefully the connection will be
Yes,
better.
yes.
But yeah, so connection, if you want to connect with me, shoot me a message, anything of that nature. My email is my last name, first name at yahoo.com. That's SCHROEDERGRACE at yahoo.com. So feel free to let me know what you thought, or if you have any questions.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. You all heard it here first. Grace, you have been a gift. You have been a blessing. You have been amazing. You have been an amazing guest. I'm so thankful that you're here. We're going to have you back. Definitely. You will be back. And I hope that for all the listeners, especially the graduate students, you're seeing someone who's in the trenches with you at the same time, different university, different state, or in the same state, doing the best she can with what she has, and it's working. It's working because she's living life based off of what works best, what works for me, what works for me right now. This energy, this vibe, this paranormal activity, all of these things that's happening is intentional, and it's going to cause a ripple. So what I love about ripples, imagine at any point in time you throw a rock or a pebble in a pond. That pebble will make ripples. And this podcast is a pebble that's going to make ripples. If this podcast has impacted you in any way, don't keep this information to yourself. Share it with somebody. Like, comment, share, ask questions, reach out to the listeners. To the guests. Find a way to get involved. Find a way to connect. Find a way to use the information that you had to better your life. Thank you all for listening. My name is Dr. Jason Branch. I'm the host of Three Parallels Podcast, where we determine who you were, who you are, who you're becoming. Have a great day. Much love. And listen, take advantage of what you heard today. Until next time. Peace.